Hey, it's Joe from VCAM TV Studios, and since I'm a man of my word, and I follow through with my clickbaity title, I'm gonna let you guys know the most important lessons you can learn from watching all 8 Home Improvement Christmas episodes. Let's start with the Christmas episode from our first season. All the radio stations that switch over to Christmas music, all your playlists, which would include Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Napster, if that's still a thing, they all should have a version of Tim Allen grunting his way through Jingle Bells.
Ho, 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 ho. Everybody, come on. Ho, ho, ho. That's the spirit.
If you're one of those channels that is big on theories, well, look into this one. I don't believe anyone watched Tool Time just for the home improvement tips. I honestly think they just watched it for the train wreck. I learned that Tim Allen's characters often have a complicated relationship with Christmas.
Tim, there's like 12 boxes of decorations. How many are you going to bring up?
One more out of the basement.
Tim Taylor loves Christmas and has 22 boxes in the attic filled with Christmas stuff.
One more out of the basement and a couple out of my car.
How many is a couple?
10.
Not a bad start, Tim. At least Tim Taylor doesn't need a whole neighborhood pestering him to put up decorations. In fact, I think he has the exact opposite problem.
Why don't you just try taking a year off and not compete with Dr. Johnson?
Some thanks I get for trying to spread a little Christmas cheer.
Not only did I learn that Tim Allen's characters often have a complicated relationship with Christmas, but it also tends to involve murder.
Hey, you! What's up? Whoa, whoa!
Like in the episode here, both Brad and Randy tell Mark that Santa Claus died 6 years ago.
There used to be a Santa Claus, but he died 6 years ago. Yep, you just missed out.
Yeah, they were pretty much against the fact that Mark still believed in Santa Claus. I learned that at Christmas time, you can't tell young kids that Santa Claus isn't real.
Well, that was a little extreme. Son, I think he's old, but he's not dead.
Because, well, he might actually be real.
Hi, Joey.
Hi, Steph.
But you won't know this because he'll look like your neighbor or a complete stranger.
Merry Christmas!
Wilson, what are you doing here?
The name is Santa.
And then you'll be like, wait a minute, who was that?
You mean that, Wilson?
Hi-ho, neighbor.
Wait a minute, was that Santa?
I just saw Santa Claus flying away.
You think?
It happens way more often than you think. I learned that if you want to feel the most nostalgic, you should watch Christmas things where one of the characters is the same age that you were. In this episode, Mark is pretty much the same age I was back then, and he even gets a toy in this episode that I got for my birthday. I learned that kids, when they stop believing in Santa, but still like getting all the gifts, well, they're the worst.
Anything for us, Santa?
Well, even though you boys no longer believe in me, Santa brought you a gift anyway.
And they're not as fun to be around during Christmas time. That goes for Brad. Brad was the worst. Obviously, episode 1, very Christmassy.
Hey!
Uh-oh.
I learned that the more you strive for greatness, the more other people try to sabotage it.
Everyone in the whole neighborhood's standing outside of our house, and they don't look too happy.
Tim Taylor just wants to make great lighting displays, and his neighbors have huge problems with it. Do they not appreciate greatness? Oh, 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 oh. I learned that if you do a little bit of research, you stumble onto weird facts about random throwaway lines in TV episodes.
Rooster Man. Rooster Man. Okay, there's a whole stack of these.
It's a great comic.
Rooster Man isn't a real comic. Mannheim Transfer is a real band, not some sort of knockoff Mannheim Steamroller.
Barbarian 2, Game Boy. Did you buy him this? I didn't buy him this.
No, but I wanted it.
Barbarian 2 was never released for Game Boy, but Barbarian 2 is a real game on the Atari ST and the Amiga 500. Now, did you know that apparently the Taylor household has all the hipster video game systems? And Tim also has a Tiger Electronics game?
Or this.
Wait a minute. It's tournament football. I still play with that thing.
I learned that while I know right and wrong, sometimes I root for the wrong thing. Brad and Randy go out and they decide that while they're getting money for charity, they should take a cut for themselves. And I'm like, yeah, that's wrong. We all should know that. But then when they got busted and decided to donate their own toys to charity, I thought, don't do it, guys. When you get older and more nostalgic, you're just going to buy all that stuff back off eBay. I learned that peppy and pushy redheads are kind of hot.
Tim the Elfman Taylor.
Oh, now don't be such a Grinch. You looked adorable.
I learned that the old school 80s and 90s blue screen technology was amazing. It was like watching the primitive YouTuber, but these are like high budget productions and you can see right through their chroma keying. It's amazing. Okay, I didn't learn this, but it's a good tip. Do not sit on a glass bulb.
Ornaments, 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 ornaments.
And for a weird out there fact, here's something about ciders and cake.
That is a plum cake. On Christmas Eve, the people of Hertfordshire, England, take the cake, stick it on a cow's horn, then they throw cider in her face.
Now here's a lesson I learned from Gremlins 1, but I wish was applied in this episode. Never ever dress like Santa and come down the chimney. That's how Al gets stuck, and that's also how Phoebe Cates' dad died in Gremlins 1.
Firemen came and broke through the chimney top, and me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird, and instead they pulled out my father. He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit.
Now for season 3, we start with a very important lesson. All you need for Christmas is Heidi. Now here's a lesson I didn't learn because I'm pretty sure it's not that true.
Todd Wheeler's family invited me to go skiing at Boyne Mountain.
Why are these kids in sitcoms able to sneak off with their friends or other people at Christmas time? Like, is that a real thing?
Don't you think it's kind of lame to be away from your family at Christmas?
I always thought you're supposed to stay home with your family at Christmas time. It's like Tim says.
Christmas is not about being with people you like. It's about being with your family.
And like, I think family's the only people you can trust.
It's the oddest thing. Every decoration I put up there, Doc Johnson's put up before me.
The neighbor, Doc Johnson, gets his own granddaughter to seduce Randy to give up information about how Tim's gonna light his Christmas decorations.
She kept pumping me for information. No matter how hard I tried to resist, I couldn't.
That Doc Johnson is evil, okay? That's basically pimping out his granddaughter for information. I also learned that oyster pecan stuffing is not only a thing, but it's a traditional Christmas food. Is it?
And I'm gonna make Nana's special oyster pecan stuffing.
I really don't know. Put it in the comments and, like, I'd love to figure out where the heck this came from or if it was just a throwaway gag. I discovered that I'm gonna have a ton of arts and crafts projects to do because I'm gonna make either Tim Allen as the Three Wise Men or a different thing that you'll hear later on. It also reinforced my belief that if you need to torture somebody, practicing your instrument is the perfect way to do it.
Brad's so depressed about not going on the skiing trip, he's trying to play the blues.
I can relate to this because my best friend's stepdad had to yell across to the neighbor kid to stop playing his tuba because he sucked at it. Cruel? Yes. Hilarious? Also yes. Did he suck at the tuba? Yes. Not only do I need Tim Allen's grunting Jingle Bells on my playlist, which if you see they brought back in this episode, even though Mark chooses not to sing it, I also need the version of Noel, Noel, instead of Noel.
Noel, 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 no.
Speaking of random cameo, here's Derek from Full House. And did you know that Derek grew up to become a gay and ripped stripper? Why do I know that? Why do I know that? I learned that if you want to win a lighting contest, you basically have to electrocute yourself. Again, this episode, very Christmassy. All right, we're on to the 4th season, and again, all you need for Christmas is Heidi. And to know a mountain man who knows how to carve a block of ice. And that you should be less like the Crank family and embrace the idea of a gigantic novelty Christmas prop.
Oh, Tim.
They're all out of the big ones.
Right.
I learned that you should never invite any of Jill or Tim's extended family to these Christmas gatherings. They're the worst, as you're going to continue to find out.
Every year your parents come, you end up locked in your bedroom going, why did I even invite them?
And in this one, Jill's parents spend the whole time arguing.
Of course, I could have had more scintillating conversation with a crash dummy.
You calling me a dummy?
Would you please just stop?
Jill?
Which is why I assume Tim wanted to fall off the roof.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
To either end it or be in the hospital to avoid this whole thing. We also got Tim's brother Marty and his wife. Did you know that they also played FBI agents in the made-for-TV Alf movie?
Last call. Anyone want the runny white part? Going, gone.
I guess the FBI doesn't pay well if they have to live with Tim. Not very Christmassy, skip it. Okay, on to season 5, continuing. All you need for Christmas is Heidi. I learned that you should always get your family into decorating for Christmas with you.
Dad, Dr. Johnson just put up 2 huge spotlights.
What? Because it's a bonding experience, and even when you're gone, like Tim and Al have to be in this episode, your kids will take up the tradition.
Bozos on the roof.
Thank God they did, because, well, I think they became their father. Tool kids become tool men.
Can't believe we won the lighting contest.
They overdo it on the lighting, and it's so bright that it's able to land the plane that Tim and Al are on, and they're able to enjoy Christmas together. Again, not that Christmassy. Season 6 is the least Christmassy of them all, as the family goes up and spends one last Christmas at Tim's old family home. And, well, that's basically it. They all eat food on the floor, and there's like a throwaway Christmas scene in there.
Or Deck the Halls with calamari.
Oh, boy.
Silent night, cannoli night.
In season 7, you learn the same lesson that Bill Belichick knows all too well. If they can't beat you, they're going to change the rules to give them a better shot at beating you.
Because certain rooftop displays have continually exceeded the bounds of prudent energy consumption and good taste, this year's lighting contest will be strictly regulated?
They're pulling the plug on you, Dad.
What makes you think this has anything to do with me?
Because it says right here, to be referred to henceforth as the Tim Taylor Clause.
As the people in charge of judging the lighting display have now put a limit on the amount of wattage that Tim Allen can use. I learned that the disturbing old wives' tale that when a man retires, he'll soon die is apparently true, because Jill's dad is now dead.
Since he retired, he just sits like a lump in his den and watches the same old war movie over and over and over.
Wow, what did it take 2 years after retirement for that to just be it? And Jill's mom is now dating.
I really like him, and would it be all right if he joined us?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's fine. It's great.
Yay, this is very Christmassy. And remember what I said about the arts and crafts projects? And we have plenty of them here. We could do knockoff 90s VHS covers, but instead of them being about the movie, it's about a home improvement topic, like Glueless. Or we could make David Partridge in a pear tree. Jill and her mom continue to argue over things during Christmas time. This is not fun.
No, it's that Dad has just been replaced.
And speaking of death, yeah, I'm pretty sure they just killed the judge. Again, not very Christmassy. Now we're on to the final season, number 8 of all the Christmas episodes. And in this one, it starts off with Al Borland, who now lives in Tim's neighborhood. Him and his fiancée, Trudy, are going to enter in the lighting contest.
The rest of the decorations have arrived, and they're really cute.
Yeah, in this competition, cute doesn't cut it, sister.
These hoes ain't loyal, Tim. Why do they all want to go after your crown? Oh, by the way, I am not a Trudy person. Team Eileen all the way.
Hey, Eileen.
Hi, Jill.
I learned that nothing brings a family together like battling your neighbors.
See, I am so proud to spy for you for Christmas, the holiest holiday of the year.
Cut the crap. What'd it look like?
It's awesome.
I learned that nobody wants to hear about divorce.
So, you had your Christmas with your mom this morning?
Yeah, we got lots of presents.
And also that absence may make the heart grow fonder, But also people move on with their lives, so when Randy comes home in this episode and they don't care that much, well, tough.
A tree in Cabo Blanco rainforest is being protected in your name. So later on we can go down and cut it down, huh?
Those are crappy gifts. Nobody likes donations in their name to somebody else. Like George Costanza said, where's your Christmas spirit? Nobody cares about a tree being planted. And finally, I learned, right in clear view the entire time, your perfect reboot of Home Improvement would have Brad as the dad.
Chasing lights set, this is great.
Yeah, for the manger on the roof.
However, there's no lights in the box.
That's because they're already up there.
No way.
As at this point, Brad has started to become Tim. Anyway, if you like this, I don't know what the heck you call it, clickbaity video where I get life lessons from stupid TV shows, why don't you subscribe to the channel? And also watch the one where I tell you life lessons I learned from, I don't know, something dumb like watching all 4 Three Ninjas movies. You're on the internet. You don't have anything better to do. Watch another video.